Hello, everyone. Welcome to MindBody TV. I'm Dr. Kim Duramo, and it's such an honor always to be here. I am going to be sharing today about something I call food foreplay. Now, it's not like a sexual practice with food, but it actually is a practice with your body before you eat, before you ingest anything, whether it's a holiday meal for everything that's upcoming, or any meal, any snack, anything you put into your body. Our food is going to become us. And when we're in discord with it, either through judgment or the ideas, I shouldn't be eating this, I shouldn't be doing this, and then we go ahead and do it, or there's fear. Oh my God, I know every time I eat this, blah, blah, blah happens. There's a lot of conclusions we live in relative to our food. And that is translated in our body. It's translated cellularly. It's translated chemically. We do not need to be in a battle with our food. We don't need to be enemies with our food. In fact, the more we do this, the more inflammation it causes in the body. So I'm going to be sharing today how to come into harmony with your food. And that's any food, anything you're going to eat. So we get out of this idea of like disciplining ourselves. I got to be really disciplined, so I eat these things or don't eat these things, and then I'll have health, health versus I can be in harmony and ease with all things. And because I'm in harmony and ease, I can choose the foods that are right for me, the foods that will contribute the most to me. So I'm always so excited to hear what comes up for you around this, around food specifically, and around what's happening for the holidays. And also, where are you tuning in from? Welcome everyone live. Hold on just a second to look at the comments. Hello, Anne from North Carolina, Angela, Joanne, Melissa. Oh, and Huya. I don't know if I'm saying that name right, but it's really beautiful. Hello, Haley, Jennifer, Wendy from Ohio, sending gratitude your way. Since it is Thanksgiving week, we're not just going to talk about food. There's also another piece that came up last night when I was kind of putting some notes together for today around gratitude. And I'm going to make this into a separate video and share it in the MindBody community. But there's so many ideas we have about gratitude and being grateful that kind of can disconnect us from what's really going on. So I'm going to speak a little bit to that too, especially where it's Thanksgiving week and we're all bringing to mind what we're thankful for, what we're grateful for. There's so much more, so many more ways we can play with gratitude, which is one of the highest frequencies we can embody. All right. So Carrie from Ontario, Canada. Hello, Rita, Rachel. All right. So getting back to our food. I first want to talk about why. Why is it so important that we be in harmony with our food? When we think of ourselves in just our three-dimensional being, we're totally separate from our food. So food is either good or it's bad, and we're in this duality. I got to eat the things that are good for me, and my body will be healthy. If I eat the things that are bad for me, my body will be unhealthy. And most of the people listening to this, you've seen the problem that creates, because every 4 months, there's a new book that tells you what's good and what's bad, and they change all the rules. So all these things that we thought were really bad are actually really good. And now all these things we thought were good, turns out they could be really bad. And so when we're in the mind and in duality, it's a never-ending chase. It's a never-ending game of trying to figure out more and then manipulate my body the way I want it to be. We do not need to work that hard. The body is way more capable than we tend to give it credit for being in health and harmony. And the most important thing is that I'm in health and harmony with myself and health and harmony with my world, and that includes my food. So the chemical changes that happen, the digestive changes, the metabolic changes that happen are going to be aligned with how you feel about your food, what you think about your food, the conclusions you've bought into. So if you bought into all these conclusions, and certainly post here some of the ideas you've had or any challenges you've had with food, it doesn't mean you have to try really hard to get it all out, like all these beliefs. I got to change all my beliefs. You can actually just be aware of them and not buy into them so strongly. You don't have to take it so seriously that these kinds of foods, let's say, oh, these are good fats and these are bad fats, and oh, and I had some food that has some bad fats in it, and it's going to be a bad thing for me, and I know it's going to happen. Or, oh, now I'm gluten intolerant. So, oh, if I ate something with gluten in it because I was at a party, I know what's going to happen, this bad thing. Or the opposite of that. Oh, well, you're telling me all food is good, so I should just forget all of it and eat whatever I eat and just call it a day, and my body should just manage it. Well, it's not either of those things. Being in harmony, grace, and ease with all that is actually a lot deeper than that. And it does take being willing to move through all of our own judgment and all of our own fear. These are the two biggest things that have us in conflict with food. And that judgment and fear is going to be registered in your chemistry. Your digestion shuts down. There's a lot of inflammation. So you'll react to certain foods negatively. It can give you brain fog. It can give you inflammatory bowel, irritable bowel disease. It can give you symptoms like skin symptoms. All kinds of things can happen when we're in disharmony with food. But when we remember that our cells are listening and we can get into harmony with what's happening instead of trying to battle it, it makes it all a lot easier. Hello, Allie from San Francisco. I love the topic and love the opportunity to continue my healing relationship with food. Awesome. Hello, Peter, Candace. Hello, Mariah. And Huya says, beautifully pronounced, curious about how can we project this into the food we are preparing for our families and others. I've been in a fair amount of fear around foods and I wish to give my kids, the foods I wish to give my kids. We can get, especially in contraction with what we're feeding our kids. And I know we could stress out, for me, like I could stress out all day long about all the imperfection, because the more you know, the more you're aware of all these quote unquote bad things that are in food that you're giving to your kid. So it's a catch-22. So I found it's way more valuable to my kids for me to be in grace and ease and do the best I can, always making the choices that I know are going to be the richest nutrients and the best quality, but letting myself off the hook for trying to do it perfectly. It's okay. It does not have to be perfect. I can allow whatever quick thing we need to do sometimes because it's going to create harmony in the whole picture, rather than trying to micromanage everything because I'm afraid it will have a negative consequence. So especially with our kids. Okay. So a lot of people have heard me mention psychoneuroendocrinology or psychoneuroimmunology. There's a huge body of science in the last 30 years about this, about our beliefs, ideas, the judgments, the fears we have, the way we think, and what's happening in our nervous system, how our brain is triggering our body either to have really great digestion or to shut down digestion and reject everything, and how our brain is triggering everything else in our body, and what's happening in our endocrine and immune systems. These are actually one system. They are not separate at all. So everything is intimately related and intimately connected. So it's a great thing because that means the more you decide to forgive yourself for being imperfect, to let go of the ideas of right and wrong, and to release fear, the more you already create harmony in your body. And that is the exactly harmony that allows your body to release any toxins in the foods that you eat or decrease the inflammation so you can absorb nutrients easily. Doesn't mean you just throw in a bunch of crap that you kind of know your body doesn't agree with and just say, okay, body, do what you got to do. You're supposed to be able to balance it all. Go ahead. You've got to be in love and gratitude and a gentle tenderness in the way you treat your body. But that is not the same as the rigidity that comes with the discipline or the restriction. Okay. Anne says, I've been on a restricted diet for over 20 years. Gluten, dairy, corn, soy, sugar, all set me off with intense reactions. And that's okay. I know that's true for maybe lots of people who are watching or listening. It doesn't mean you don't honor what your body requires right now. It just means you invite yourself to move into something more fluid. Now, you've been doing this 20 years. Maybe it's completely fluid for you and your entire lifestyle is in alignment with this. Fine. It doesn't mean you, quote unquote, should be eating gluten, and that if you can't eat gluten, you're not in harmony and you're not doing your healing, or that if you, if you eat gluten, you should be able to eat gluten now that you're whole. Like, get off those ideas and just be willing to embrace what's more fluid for me. Is it fluid to just keep doing it as I'm doing it, or is it more fluid for me to embrace a little bit more? Maybe there's more flow, more flow and more allowance for all kinds of different things. Maybe there's a change. Maybe that will open things up socially. Maybe that'll open things up in different ways. Only you can know what's really fluid for you. It can be a really beautiful thing to do a diet like that, maybe for a period of time, or maybe like Anne is saying, for 20 years, that's her lifestyle. And maybe you're in total harmony with that. Awesome. Learn to celebrate and cherish that you found that alignment. For many, many people though, it isn't required for the long term. Maybe you do it for a few months or a few years and your body can clear that resistance. Your body can clear that food intolerance. And as you sort of in your own harmonic connection move into a higher frequency, your body will be able to tolerate more and have less rigidity. Okay, Jimbo says, great topic. And Zavi says, I'm so excited to hear this, as my food is my passion, and I would love more balance on this subject. My Chinese herbalist says my digestion system is inhibited. Yeah, not uncommon for many of us. Well, I know for me, like the more we're in harmony, it doesn't mean the body doesn't want to release certain foods for a time or something like that. I love to drink wine. We drank lots of champagne this summer. We were out in Paris. And then I know in the past I do like a detox a few times a year. And I haven't felt inspired to do that in years. But all of a sudden, my body went through this detox on its own. I didn't think about it. I didn't try. I actually started questioning it, like, what's going on? Why am I not eating anything? My body hardly wanted to eat anything. I drank lots of water. I ate small amounts of food. I really didn't think about it. But I realized after about, I don't know, it was probably at least a month, maybe like 6 weeks, where I'm like, oh, I'm just not interested in anything, that my body just went through this whole kind of reboot, and it did what it needed to do. It felt totally harmonic for me, and I just followed along. I didn't even think about it. And one of the things that went with this was probably like 2 months or maybe a little more where I had no alcohol. I didn't want it. I didn't think about it. I didn't, just wasn't interested at all. And then I went a couple weeks ago to be in Kansas City with my husband. We had this amazing time together. And I was like, I wonder if I'm going to have a glass of champagne, because, we had some to celebrate. But I didn't have any feel about it whatsoever. And I enjoyed it. And all of a sudden it was like, okay, now I'm on my regularly scheduled program. Like, we'll have it once in a while. Again, it's not something I'm trying to do to try to not have alcohol or have it. And we could have a whole other conversation about that. But my body went through the reboot it needed, and it just, all the things in my life fit around that. We weren't going out celebrating with friends. So like, I didn't even think about it or have to say like, no, I'm not having that. There were a few times we went out and didn't even occur to me to think about that, to have that. So I realized after the end of it, like, oh, my body took what it needed, went through whatever kind of detoxification it was going through, and I feel rebooted. And I was going through also so many things emotionally, mentally, like so many other things during that time. So it kind of made sense that as I was energetically rebooting, my body went through that. So we can, and it is natural for the body to go through its own rhythms of craving and wanting certain foods or not wanting to have certain foods. And if we're in alignment and not in judgment of any of it, we can totally flow with that. It's when we're in judgment about this, what's good, what's bad, what's right, what's wrong, we're trying to eat from the mind. Okay, so what is food foreplay? So instead of being disciplined with our food, we're actually going to clear our emotions or the judgment and fear that we have, and then add love and appreciation. Can I just appreciate being alive? Can I appreciate that I get to eat whatever food I'm eating? Can I, like people will bless their food and come into harmony with their food. If we do like water, you can say like a blessing for your water. Like I think of it like if I'm holding my little baby and infusing all that love into my water, you can do this with your food. Everything around you is energy, and there's life in it, and we're connected with all of that. So you can connect with all of these things and come into harmony. Even if it's gluten, you're like, all right, gluten, I am so scared of you, and there's all these conclusions about how it's been so far, and I'm really not clear about how this is going to go, but let me just infuse love, clear myself emotionally, and then see, do I want to eat this food? Does it feel aligned for me? You might just completely lose interest because the more you connect with your body, if your body doesn't really resonate with it, you won't even want it. But when you're disconnected from your body, you can't tell the difference, and then you have no choice but to like think really hard about it in your head, and it won't really create more. Jennifer says, I found with this universal transit, I'm found with this universal transition and ascension, everything for me is changing. Yep, I've experienced this before. I'm not interested in any of my regular, in paragraph, healthy, or parentheses, healthy foods. I either eat less or eat different things that satisfy where I am at the time. Yeah, same thing for me. For me, it's like anything goes. I have not been in a lot of conclusion with food. So there's, it's like I can receive all things with grace and ease. There is a massive transition we've been going through, as I've been speaking about in the last couple months. So what judgments do you have about food? What are the ideas you have about food? Because sometimes we hold on to these so strongly that we actually fear changing it. No. I'm so sure this is bad that I'm not going to eat that food. Totally different from awareness. I'm aware that's not aligned for my body, and I'm not going to choose that food. So it doesn't mean, well, if I don't have any fear, then I'm going to just eat everything. You can choose from awareness, but in order to be in pure awareness, you've got to clear yourself emotionally. You've got to clear out the fear and the judgment. Then you can be aware, like, yeah, this is not a fit for me at this time, and you refrain, just like with me with, alcohol and lots of food. Like, I hardly eat anything. I was like, what is going on here? But I felt amazing, so I just let myself flow with it. Okay, so the first piece in food foreplay is always for me, ABC, awareness. Being aware of what I feel, how I feel, what's coming up for me, and just check in with my physical body. You can do a little body scan. You can take a couple breaths and just, physically feel your body. Or you can always ask the question, hi, body, how are you doing? A lot of times we live in this total separation from our body, and then we try to like whip our body into shape, manipulate our body, or fix our body. And we can't really love and nurture our body unless we connect with our body. So you've got to be willing to sort of like, if there's pain, just let the pain move through, but no longer suppress sensation. If there's maybe like something emotionally grungy, to no longer suppress it, like be willing to feel that and sit with it for 10 seconds. So before you eat anything, you do this awareness. Hey, body, how are you? And you take a few deep breaths. Let everything go. This is B, second step. When you do the breath, relax your shoulders. So often in our life, we're engaged. We're going to do this, and we're going to do that. We got to figure it out, and we're holding it together. And that will not allow proper digestion, resolution in the immune system, decreased inflammation. So you got to just relax the shoulders and let the breath come through the belly. So deep belly breath, let your belly expand out with the inhale. And let it sink in with the exhale. And you can do this while you're talking. If you're at Thanksgiving dinner and all the food is served and you're just going to check in with your body, and you can even share with someone else. Oh, I'm so excited to eat today. Make a noise. Let the exhale release any energy you're holding about tension, about fear, all the things that we try to hold together for discipline that just create more rigidity and actually just contribute to the shutdown of your digestion and increase in inflammation. So let your body relax. That alone will release a lot of energy. And then C is your choice. So in your C, and C is also change, you can allow the energy to transmute. So just take a few deep breaths, feel what you're feeling. Maybe it's like, oh my God, there's all these foods. What they put in the stuffing, what they put in the gravy. Oh God, there's white flour. I don't think I can eat that. And then all of like the disdain that comes from the fear. I'm afraid of my environment. I'm afraid of other people's cooking and their values and what they're doing. And is this going to harm me? So just let the fear go. You do not need to choose from fear in order to receive everything you need. So when your body releases that through the breath, you actually come into a different harmonic. This changes your chemistry, opens up your digestion. You're secreting enzymes that break down your food. You're opening up, what's going on in your gut to start sort of peristalsis, receiving the food, breaking down the food, absorbing nutrients. You're also turning on your system for elimination and detoxification. So all of these things are taking care of you. You're also, very importantly, and even more importantly, you're shifting your electromagnetics. So what does that mean? So there's electromagnetics, every cell, every part of you has an electromagnetic output, an electromagnetic communication, and we can measure this. We can physically measure this actually up to 8 feet away from the body, up to 8 to 10 feet away from the body. And you will be in a different frequency, a different vibrational frequency. Well, this doesn't just affect what's happening in your body, but it affects everyone and everything around you. So it's really interesting that you'll see when you come into this alignment, you might hear someone say, oh, Kim, just so you know, there's gluten in that dressing, so you don't want to use that. And you can say, oh, thank you so much, and feel loved and cared for. You can actually receive things because when your electromagnetic shift, it opens others and it inspires them, and it can actually trigger changes in their thought patterns. So someone who wasn't even thinking of you or the fact that you don't eat gluten can all of a sudden remember and then be loving and compassionate with you and say something like that. Or someone makes something like, oh, we made this gluten-free stuffing just for you, and here you go. I almost forgot. We left it in the oven, and here you go. Things can change. So just that alone can change a lot. And it is really powerful in how it affects your body to allow your body to receive everything in grace and ease. So in this third piece, you can begin to see and notice the fear you have, the judgment you have, anything that comes up for you. You can actually just tap on it. Body, it's okay for you to release all of this. Tap on the karate chop point on the side, pinky side of your hand, underneath the table if you're at a Thanksgiving dinner, or go to the bathroom and do a whole little mini session of tapping. Inner eye point, oh my God, I can hardly believe what I'm doing. I'm gonna eat all these things and I know they're so bad for me. Let's go through some of that now. So I want to hear a little bit of what's coming up for you around food. We can do some tapping and harmonizing. And then you can use this for your food foreplay to come into harmony with food before you eat. We don't have sex before, well, some people do, before getting the body prepared. People understand sexual foreplay. Like, wait, your body's like, go, go, go. I'm going to go to work and I'm going to drive my car and I'm going to take care of the kids and I'm going to take out the trash. And now, oh, I'm going to have sex. You've got to get on a different channel because the level of receptivity that is required doesn't exist on the I'm going to work, taking care of the kids and cooking dinner channel. You've got to get on a different channel so you can turn all that off and release it. And then the body can be juicy and lubricated or erect and excited or whatever, because those things happen through a different part of your nervous system. You got to turn off the sympathetic nervous system so that the parasympathetic can ignite. And these are both involuntary. You can't make it happen. All right, I'm ready. I'm going to have sex. It's going to be great. Come on, body, get ready. You have to actually let go of trying so that the body can do this itself. And it's the same thing with food. Your body can digest food and can absorb food and can eliminate what you don't need, but it can only do that to the degree that you're in your own harmony. Kuya says, since signing up for the Instant Elevation program for the last week and being in a place of flow and abundance, it's been amazing to see how I've been able to eat and tolerate foods that would usually leave me sluggish and tired. We've been out of our usual food routine this week with a lot of foods that we would normally never or not usually eat. I've been letting go of the fear and judgment, and my body has responded beautifully. Such a lovely realization. Yay! I did receive what you wrote or what you shared, the video about the Instant Elevation program this week, and it was beautiful, and thank you so much. I was really excited to hear that. I really actually would like to ask for feedback from those of you who are participating in the program or have participated in the program. I think it's a useful way to let other people know what's possible when you practice harmonizing your body. So much can get created when we allow that, instead of trying to do it and make it happen and force it and cook it up and, we try to make it happen. You can't heal yourself. You can only allow the circumstances to be present so that healing occurs. So that's beautiful. Oh, Marie says, I'm touching my microphone and it makes a little noise. Sorry about that. Jennifer, when we approach food with fear and anxiety, the body will not digest and absorb it with ease, even if it's, quote, healthy. Yes, nothing could be more true. Melanie, I've certainly had plenty of times when I ate feeling anxious about the food, and I know how different it is when I just allow. Huge difference. Well, there's a great story about this, and it's included in my new book is going to come out in the spring. But I was in residency, and usually I would always almost I would bring my lunch. I'd bring my organic nuts and berries and whatever kind of snacks I'd have in the day, and I'd bring a nice hearty lunch with like greens and whatever to have like a good meal. And this one time I forgot my food, and I happened to be on call, so I was rotating on internal medicine, and they'd have these lunches which would be sponsored by drug companies, and they'd bring a whole bunch of pizza. And I was aware of like, oh my gosh, you got to go to this lunch because it's our grand rounds. And you got to get your, hours and whatever. And I'm starving. And I'm like, oh my God, I've got another, 24 hours to go before tomorrow afternoon when I leave. And I got to be on. And I know I'm going to be cranking if I'm going to be hitting the floor if I don't eat something. So I had all the awareness of how I felt about the pizza and the disdain and I can't believe they feed us this crap. And no, how are we supposed to be going all day long and having freaking pizza? And I was like, Kim, you've got to receive this. Being starving is going to be worse. What if you just let yourself receive this in grace and ease, and actually neutralized everything I felt about the pizza, everything I thought about the pizza, and let my body come into harmony? Body, it's okay for you to receive this. Body, it's okay for us to ingest this pizza. It's okay for us to receive this from the drug rep. It's okay for us to receive this from the pizza place. It's okay, all the people who made it that I'm kind of whatever, I've got on the whole process, and to be in harmony and receive this food. And I remember when I ate that pizza, I felt like $1,000,000, and all day long I was amazed because I felt like I'd had, like a big kale salad and fresh pressed juice. I felt incredibly energized, light, vibrant, and I always remembered that. And I was sort of forced into it, but I always remembered when you really need it. Is it more disruptive to try to like, I'm not going to eat this. I'm going to just not go to my thing and go out and eat and do this and do that. That was way more disruptive than just receive what's here. And it's so the same thing when we eat at other people's house for like holidays, or we're eating in a group for holidays. Can I just let myself receive all of this in grace and ease and neutralize everything I've got on it? And yes, of course, honor my body in the equation and do the best I can with the situation I'm in. So that in a nutshell is food foreplay. Anne says, I feel like an outsider when I'm eating with most other people because I eat differently. Yeah, that's one of the things it will do, is it will isolate you. It'll ostracize you. And so you got to realize, like, where am I rejecting my environment? Where am I rejecting my culture? And where can I get more into alignment with receiving all of it in grace and ease? Maybe I still do my own thing, but there's not the resistance to others' way of doing it. And when you're in that harmony, it's like maybe you're still eating your own thing, but everyone's cool with it. Or you find other people who do it that way. Or, like I remember my mom started making gluten-free pasta and didn't even chirp about it. It was like, oh, here you go, Kim, I made this one for you. And it was like, really? She's not even going to start giving me a hard time about how different I am and I have to be special and I have to do this, or just ignoring it as if I've never let her know. Because for many years I was gluten intolerant. And I just remember having come into the harmony myself, invited other people to be in that harmonic and just do what was required. So you might see a lot of changes when you do this. Jennifer says, while I'm cooking and when I'm eating, I tell myself everything I'm eating is nourishing me. It is healing me and I am well. I love that. So there's a lot you can do when you prepare food, especially if it's for your family that you want to love and nurture them and you want the food to be healthy and vibrant. Just talk to the food while you're stirring it around, or talk to your heart, feel your heart while you're cooking the food. There is an art to cooking. There's an art to preparing meals. And as an artist, you're infusing this essence of the love that comes through your body, or the inspiration that comes through your body. It gets infused in the medium, in this case, the food. And it's a beautiful way to nurture others. Wendy says, LOL about the pizza you ate. Pizza can make you feel really done with the day. So great example about food foreplay and how it can work in these unforeseen circumstances. And Sandy says, I'm obsessed and fearful of food. I try to eat with ease, but I still end up analyzing how I've reacted to the meal, and I start trying to figure out what to avoid or change. I would love to be in harmony, but I can't figure it out. Yeah, you won't figure it out, and thank you. Okay, so let's do our food foreplay. So you're gonna eat, or you're sitting at the table and there's all the food, and you feel like the anxiety gets stirred up. You'll feel something. It's gonna be different for everyone, but if you're feeling your body, so that's the first piece is A. I feel my body. And it's not just before you eat, even though we call this foreplay. It's also like during and after. Because how often do you eat something and you're like, oh God, I shouldn't have eaten that. Oh my God, now I feel so heavy and full. Oh God, this is going to be terrible. You can harmonize then as well. I love and forgive exactly how it's gone. It's okay for me to receive this food in grace and ease. And let your body know that. And then your body will be in a totally different chemical, energetic relationship with receiving and digesting that food. All right, so awareness. You're aware, you feel what you feel. This is the biggest one. So just breathe through that. Feeling what you feel. Hi, body. How are you doing? What's going on? Let yourself feel everything. Okay, I notice that. Okay, I notice this. Okay, all the fear and anxiety. Okay, I don't get it. All the past experiences. How could it be different this time? And then breathe. Breathing in, let the belly expand. Relax your shoulders. Breathing out, let the belly sink in at least 3 breaths. And let your body know, body, we can release everything we've got on this. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to go eat a huge thing of stuffing. Just stay open to what is really a fit. So don't be in conclusion about any of it. Oh, we're going to do this, and now I can just eat everything on the table and shove it in my body, and it's going to be fine. No, we're just going to come into greater harmony so that we can make a different choice. So, and we can see things more clearly. So let the belly expand out, let it sink back in. Good. 3, even up to 10 times, because sometimes there's so much. Or just go to the bathroom, excuse yourself. Breathe in, let the shoulders relax, let the belly expand. Exhale, let it go. Just that alone is going to shift your nervous system very powerfully. So you'll feel more relaxed, and then you just wait a few seconds. You'll begin to perceive things differently. Okay, and the next piece is the choice. Now, I'm going to just walk you through a guided EFT, but it does not need to be like this. You could simply say, I choose what's in alignment with my greatest vitality. Or what would it take for me to choose what's in alignment with my greatest vitality? I release everything that doesn't allow that. The judgment, the fear, the conclusions, the past experiences. I release all of that so I can be here now, operating in total clarity, operating in total honoring of me. And then you can be aware of like, I don't want that. Yes, I want that. You're not choosing emotionally. Okay, so a little tapping session. So we tap on the karate chop point. You can do one, you can do them both together. It doesn't matter which side you do. And you can repeat after me, even though I have all this fear about food. And you can say it out loud. I love and accept myself fully. And we'll do 3 for that setup phase. Even though I have all this anxiety and fear about eating, I choose to be in total harmony now. Even though I don't know what to do and I'm so sure it's not going to be okay here. I choose to release all of this and be in harmony now. Okay, good. Now the inner eye. So that was the setup phrase. Now we just do the main points. It's okay for me to be in harmony with food. Outer eye. It's okay for me to choose what's really a fit for my body. Relax the shoulders. Under the eye. It's okay for me to honor myself fully. Under the nose. Feeling what I feel and releasing fear. On the chin. Slowing down and making space. Under the collarbone to feel what I feel. And release this energy. Good. Under the arm, there's wisdom in my body. Good. Keep the shoulders relaxed, top of the head. I don't need to try. I can instead receive. Good. We'll do a little more inner eye. Being in harmony with food. Outer eye. Allowing my body to be in total health. Under the eye. Choosing from awareness. Under the nose. Letting my body choose what it knows. On the chin. Releasing my judgment and conclusions. Under the collarbone. Releasing my fear. Releasing my past. Under the arm. Releasing what I've got on all these people around me. The need to be different, to feel special. And top of the head. Caring for and nurturing myself implicitly. Okay, good. And then just take a big deep breath in. And a big deep breath out. And then feel your body again. How you doing, body? What's going on? You could do more tapping if there's more that comes up. And one cool thing that you might not realize you could do is you can, if you went through this little series here, your body sort of can catalog it. Your mind can catalog it. So you've got like, okay, the EFT we did with Kim on food foreplay. So you could just sit at the table, even just gently tap your karate chop point just to remind your body, run the process we did with Kim on food foreplay. Integrate what we did with Kim and food foreplay. And let your body know, like, here I am with you. So it's like if you had a lover and you brought him to dinner and he's like, oh my God, your family, I'm afraid of what they think of me. I'm afraid of what's going on. And you just put your hand on that person's hand and you're like, I'm here with you. It's okay. And they instantly relax, like, oh yeah, I remember what this is all about. It's good. I'm good. I'm loved. I'm seen. I'm taken care of. I'm not alone. That's what your inner self needs. Not like 10 years of therapy and a highly restrictive diet necessarily. But you will be in more awareness of what maybe food omissions will serve you, and it will be easy to choose them. Sometimes it happens without even thinking about it. Beautiful. All right. Courtney says, Ho'oponopono is a great way to clear those disharmonic food thoughts. So for those of you who aren't familiar with Ho'oponopono, it's, I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. It's a process that we can use in the body, and I have a great program on it. It's at drkimd.com/pono, P-O-N-O, where we went through this in a live group call, and I taught the people in the Embracing Health program about it. And we went through how to use it for literally transmuting anything. So yes, it is awesome for food. But that program is available on the website. It's a really low investment because I wanted to make it available to a lot of people. And I know people have really loved that one. So that's at drkimd.com/pono, P-O-N-O. But you can find other videos I've created about it online to get sort of the basic gist. That recording is much, much more in depth. Jimbo says, I've always been a serious foodie. Me too. And when the time came, I realized I had to change the way I eat. It was a huge barrier. Years later, I'm finally eating to live instead of living to eat. Yeah, it's different between being a serious foodie or like a fun foodie. And I've had to change myself to be a fun foodie because I did take it too seriously in the past, and that's not great for the body either. All right, so I hope you guys have loved food foreplay. Yeah, this is really about moving into neutrality with food. I get it can be hard to get your head around because the mind is often in duality. Foods are either good or they're bad. So I either should eat them or I shouldn't eat them. How can I not be in judgment? So we're going beyond that to allow much higher possibility that goes beyond duality. Zabi says, I just realized I've used food to ignore my emotions, and this will be so much more helpful. This is unbelievably helpful for emotional eating. Marilene, beautiful name. Receiving change is everything. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anne says, I felt my body, oh, hold on. My body felt very fatigued after the EFT. Yeah, a lot of times it will let down all the tension and what you're holding together, and it will have a reboot. So move through the fatigue, drink a huge glass or bottle of water and just replenish. You'll definitely, no question, reboot into a much higher energy. Oh, and Jessica put the link for the Pono download. All right, everyone, so much love. Happy Thanksgiving. Again, I said I'll be sharing that gratitude video about how to practice gratitude to heal the body. It's way deeper than what a lot of people think. We do have also the Embracing Health program up and running for those of you who would like to register. We start in a couple of weeks. Any questions you have, just send them our way to support@drkimd.com. I know some people have already registered. We're super excited to be running the program again. And we do have a Black Friday special. I posted it in the MindBody community and we emailed it out today as well. So that was super fun for me to create the offer because we've never done Black Friday special before, and it was a lot of fun. So yeah, share with anyone that you love who you think would want to come into the membership, because we still have space for lots more people to come into the membership. And I love being here each week. So lots and lots of love, and I'll see you next week. Happy Thanksgiving.